Okay, let's have a look at this project and see if we can work out what's right and what's wrong with it. First, looking at this is supposed to be exercise2.php. If I look carefully down here, I can see that there is a doctype.html and there's obviously a web form in here. And we end the form down there. But something I've noticed is there's a doctype HTML and there's another doctype HTML. In fact, looking very, very carefully at this, it would appear that this is a web page inserted inside a web page. That really will not work. In fact, if we go back to sector and look at what was expected on that page, so I'm going back, of course, to where we were working. And look down here to exercise 2. Exercise2.php is in fact just this code. Now that code, if it's to place on a web page, needs to be placed within the body. In truth, it would work even without any HTML type material in there, but we'll put it inside the body as we should. So that's an obvious error. This code needs to come out. But let's just run it to see what would happen if I didn't realize that and I just started to run it. So again, right click, of course, at the top here, open in browser, off to Google Chrome. Always open it that way. That's because it always up the top here, it tells you exactly what file you're running. And we can see here that it's obviously running off my local host, my XAMPP server. So down the bottom here, what am I seeing? I've got a warning, include exercise2.html, fail to open a stream, no such file. Well, that's a problem we've got to work out. So you couldn't do this include. Where was this include? No such file, blah, 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 da, 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 da. On line 35, in which file? ex2.php. So let's go back and see if we can find what that's all about. So scrolling down. Line 35 has this statement, include ex2.html. If I look over here in Fred's work, I can see that there's no ex2_html. There is an ex2, sorry, there is no ex2.html. There is an ex2_2HTML. That's probably what it should be. And if I open that up and have a quick look, yeah, that's the web form that should be loaded if there's nothing been posted. So let's go and fix that. So let's rename that file. So if I right click on here and I go down to edit, one of the things I can do in edit is I can rename. If you like shortcut keys, then you can remember that F2 is the way to do that. So I'm going to rename it and I'm just going to call it ex2.html. Now we have a file that can be included in this statement back here. So this include statement can now actually include something that actually exists. And if you go back again and you were to check in sector, you would find that's what you were supposed to have had. ex2.html, not underscore. So back here we go. And I can go to where I did this and I can refresh and see what happens this time. Okay, we've refreshed it. And now we can see we've got form. And we already noticed why we had those two forms. We had those two forms because the form was in the PHP and then the form is now included. All right, so it's there twice. Let's fix that error. So we go up here and I can see that's where this extra page has been added. Let's go through here, down to the bottom. All right, all of that should not be there. So let's save that. Just also looking there in terms of neatness, we end the body back down here, but we don't start it. Won't matter because this is all PHP, but it's really bad practice, so we will fix that. So I just done a copy and paste. Obviously I don't need the slash at the start, just needs to be body. And notice I've highlighted that, and I can see down there that its partner's highlighted, so that's really very useful to see that we've got now matching pairs for everything. Okay, so Control S, let's save that page. If I was editing multiple page, I'd use File Save All. Let's go on, let's right click on this, and again open in browser, Google Chrome, and that's looking much better. It's looking what it should look like. Alright, let's get this wrong. Let's put a well, let's put something right in this. Put 77 in there and click submit. It says data correct. That's nice. Then it goes on and says, oh, I've got a problem. Why? I'm trying to go where? Well, I expect to be able to go to exercise 2_B, and I haven't been supplied with that file, so therefore I can't check that. Let's go back, and yeah, I know. All right, let's put in an incorrect age. Let's put in, 88, and submit that. More errors. Let's have a look at this error and what's going on there. It says notice undefined variable session. So the session variable itself in entirety is not defined. And which file is that in? Going over here. That's in error 2_error, exercise 2, sorry, _error.php. It's on line 16. And let's have a look at that file. So opening that up, double click. Errors on line 16, going to line 16. And there we have some PHP that requires a session variable. Why doesn't that work? Well, for a session variable to work, it must be started, and there is no start to the session variable anywhere in this code. So we need to add in the code to start the session variable. I'm going to be a little bit sneaky. I don't like typing things multiple times. So, and as always, I try to put code in the body. That code has to be before we have this statement down here. So I know in exercise 2 I started up a session start. So I started up PHP, started up a session. Let me grab that. Copy. Go across to here. Let's paste that in. And obviously I now need to close off that PHP because the rest of it's just HTML. And let's save that again. Let's try again. So, starting off here, right click, open in browser, Google Chrome. Let's put in an age that's too big, 88. Click submit. Too old. Looks like it's working. Put in an acceptable one, 77. Submit, and everything's working. So there we have it. That file has now been fixed. I have put into your intersector some common errors, and I'll keep adding to that as you send me files for me to correct. I'll try and add statements in there and maybe do some more videos for you.